Hello, everybody. Welcome to another boxing round by Boz. Oh, yeah, man, we have quite a weekend ahead of us. Finally, it's been quite dry, lately. I mean, yeah, there were some good fights this month, but this weekend, which is the 3rd of August or August the 3rd, uh, is finally really looking great. Yeah. So let's go to it. Right. Before I get to the big main fight, of course, the main event, I wanna first talk about a few others. And the first one will be is in the heavyweight division. Also, Jared Anderson versus Martin Bakole or Bakole. I believe that's the correct pronunciation. Bakole. All right. This is taking place at the BMO Stadium in LA. And we have a fight between the younger guy Anderson, who is 17-0, and the older 31-year-old, well, but still not old, Martin Bakole, who is 20 with 20 wins with one loss, which happened quite a while ago, and that was an injury against ironically a small heavyweight, since Bakole is 6'6", very big and heavy guy, against Michael Hunter. Yeah, but that was as I said, some time ago. And since then, Bakole has done really well, and he last beat well, not no longer in his prime, but still game and tough guy Carlos Takam in the 4th round. Yeah. So also, just a second. Sorry. Also, Bakole is a guy who has been slept on, I feel, too much. And even though he doesn't have so many fights, but he also beat Tony Yoka, was the first guy to beat him, and I believe he dropped him also. So yeah, the fight with Hunter was in 2018, and yeah, so Ilunga did manage to. Sorry, well, his full name is Martin Bakole Ilunga. Anyway, he managed to cut Hunter there, but he got an injured shoulder. So anyway, he also holds a stoppage victory over Marius Vach back when Vach was still not, totally shot or washed up. So yeah, that's a pretty impressive record. But he is not based in the U.S., so that's why he had to wait so long to get a fight like this. Anderson, on the other hand, is only 24 years old, 6'4", 78-inch reach. He's I don't know who said, somebody made a big mistake. They said they put Bakole's height at 6'3". He's a 6'6", actually. Yeah, so Anderson is the shorter guy, but he's the younger guy also. And however, Bakole hasn't had that many fights, only 21, so he's got only 4 more fights than Anderson, despite being 7 years older. So, there's not a big difference there in mileage. Anderson, yeah, he of course does have power, but I don't think he's a really devastating one punch hitter, and Bakole, he also well, looks more like maybe that kind of even though against Takam he did win like in 4 rounds, and But he's not a one punch guy either. But he's just a solid hitting big guy, big strong, who knows how to to box and get his opponents to cut off the ring and all that, chase his opponent down. But Anderson is just pretty technically good as well, and it will not be easy for Bakole to do that against him. And given that the fight is in USA, and Anderson comes from you know Houston, Texas, and it's gonna be hard for Bakole to get this if it goes the distance, of course. I don't know. Is this fight for 10 rounds? Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, I mean, but Bakole is so talented. However, Anderson is talented as well. So I expect a close fight here, definitely. But Anderson will likely get a decision, no matter who really wins. In the end, unless Bakole should be able to stop him. Maybe, I don't know, but it's not gonna be easy. I said, and Anderson, I don't think he can stop Bakole. So he, because of what I say, he's not a devastating puncher. Well, hasn't shown himself as that yet. Anyway. So yeah, my prediction is that Anderson wins on points probably. All right. We also have this fight, which is kind of interesting in the light heavyweight division, and between David Morrell, who's just moved up from super middleweight, and already a veteran light heavyweight, Radivoje Kalajic, who is originally, well, I don't know, they say Bosnia, but he himself says Serbia, so I don't know really. Anyway, he is from that area, same kind of area where I come from originally. Yeah, Kalajic is a big light heavyweight. He's 6'3", and he can hit hard. Definitely, he's a puncher. He has had a few fights at cruiserweight as well. Yeah, I mean, he's 33 years old, so this is like his final chance to get a big victory. He got robbed against Marcus Brown, like most people thought. That, and yeah, that was a pity. So he also got stopped by Beterbiev, but since then he's bounced back and has scored an impressive victory over Sullivan Barrera when he knocked him out. The 10th round, that was in March. So yeah, he's won 5 fights since the Beterbiev fight, 4 of them by stoppage. So yeah, the guy can punch. 29-2-0 with 21 knockouts. However, David Morrell, he's a beast, as we know. 10-0 with 9 knockouts, 6'1". Actually has a slightly longer reach than Radivoje. Well, only by an inch, but anyway, or actually by a couple of inches. And yeah, he's like a freak of nature. He looked really big at 168. Yeah, he had won the WBA title there actually, but yeah, nobody would fight him over the big names like Canelo, or Benavidez. So he was bound to move up. Hopefully that can happen now. The Benavidez fight at 175, since also Benavidez has moved up. Well, I had no idea that he actually was a WBA champion for like 2.5 years. Holy crap! He really got his chance early. I mean, that's for sure. But he proved that he was ready for it, Morrell. He's only 26 still, and he's got that advantage over Kalajic. Yeah, I just think that Kalajic is definitely a good fighter, but maybe not good enough to beat the best. Like Morrell is definitely one of the best. However, this is his first fight at 175, so we don't know how he will respond or how comfortable he will be at the new weight, but I reckon he will be look comfortable most likely. Yeah, he's a big guy, still. So yeah, I think probably Morel. I don't know if he will manage to stop Kalajic, but I I back him to win this fight. This is a 12 round fight actually, so yeah, maybe I can see a stoppage happening because also Kalajic fights aggressively. He's not one of these defensive boxers, boxer type. He goes out there to slug it out and to knock out his man. And so if he fights like usual, then we will probably see a knockout or a really good action fight at least, if nothing. But yeah, I mean, I think Morel will most likely win. He's the fresher, younger fighter. He's kind of looks stronger on paper also, and very impressive. He has been very impressive so far, and yeah. So I think Morel wins either by knockout or on points, Yeah, but if that knockout happens, it won't happen early. That's for sure. I don't think so. All right, and then we have one more before I go to the main event. Andy Ruiz Jr. and Jarrell Miller fighting also at the BMO Stadium. Yeah, Andy Ruiz, now 34 and Miller 36. Suddenly not so young anymore, from being the guy who upset Anthony Joshua 5 years ago. Wasn't even 30 back then. He's now suddenly a guy who is being questioned, his focus and dedication and everything, like his activity, his shape. Yeah, I mean, I always thought Andy Ruiz was an unfulfilled talent still, despite that Joshua victory. Definitely, yeah. So he's 35, 2-0, 22 knockouts, and yeah. He has only had 2 fights for the last 3 years, and actually hasn't fought since 22. Wow, September when he beat Luis Ortiz. Yeah, it was a hard fight. So we don't know. He looks to be in better shape now, but you never know with him. Same goes for Miller. Who has come in at very heavy. Numbers, weights like 33 pounds for his last 2 fights. So man, huge guy, really. So ever since he first lost to Daniel Dubois last year, that was a pretty poor performance. I mean, he got beat up. Now he is looking for redemption. I don't think so. I don't think it will happen. He's already 36 also, so that's the age where most fighters usually start to decline. And him not being very disciplined or very active the last few years, well, he's been active, but he didn't really look that great. Or actually, he didn't fight between 2018 and 2022. So there you go. He also doesn't have really that big of a punch. He usually wins on accumulation because he had this stamina. But that has been proven, sadly, to come from illegal substances. So now he doesn't have that either. So I believe Ruiz will win this fight, but it may well go the distance. Ruiz hasn't scored a knockout for a while. Ever since actually his last one was against Joshua. So but he's only had 3 fights since he was very disappointing against Chris Ariola, and yeah. Anyway, I think he now knows this is his final chance. If he loses this or looks poor, I don't think he will get, well, not many more chances, especially not for a world title fight. So he knows now he needs to win, and I believe he will win this fight. And I hope, because boxing heavyweights do need him still. We do like to have him there. So yeah, I predict that he will win. But because Miller is so big and tough, I think probably on points, yeah. Alright, and then finally, sorry about this line, man. The big fight, of course, Terence Crawford versus Israel Madrimov, which is going to happen in Riyadh, I believe, right? Yeah. Well, no, actually, no, it's in. Alright. BMO Stadium, that too. Alright, sorry. Yeah. This is a very interesting fight. I mean, Madrimov, both guys are unbeaten, but Madrimov only has had 11 fights, while Crawford has had 40. Yeah. But, this is Crawford's first fight at 154, and him being 36, closing on down on 37. There are question marks, of course. I mean, I watched Madrimov's last fight against Kurbanov. That was very impressive. He stopped the guy, the unbeaten boxer, in 5 rounds. A technical fighter, really, Kurbanov is. And also beat Liam Smith previously. So, yeah, wow, what an impressive performance that was. I mean, based on that, I definitely do think he is capable of beating Crawford. But Crawford is still Crawford. Is very tricky and yeah, dangerous, and just a very good technical boxer. And however, at welterweight he still had power. He still had power, but at super welterweight now, I don't know. His power will be so good, and I will be surprised, to put it that way, if he manages to stop Madrimov. That will be the ultimate, proof that statement that yeah, I am the best of today, probably the best fighter or among the best 3 fighters pound for pound. I mean, he already is that, but this will be, a great statement. But I'm not so sure. I mean, I'm not even sure he will win this fight, to be honest. And because sooner or later, once you start beating everybody, sooner or later, it can't last forever. Really, you will most likely hit a block, a roadblock. There are exceptions, of course, like Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Joe Calzaghe, and to an extent, maybe Andre Ward. You can also throw his name in there, but anyway. But yeah, I mean, Crawford. They never. None of them really. Well, Floyd Mayweather did, but not such a brief time. Let's say, go across 4 different divisions, or actually, yeah, it is 4. And now Floyd only had 1 fight and 154 against Oscar, and yeah, Crawford is there to stay, obviously. I know Madrimov is very awkward, the way he throws punches and the way he moves, and he will be tough to deal with, definitely, for Crawford, and because he's used to guys who are pretty orthodox and just come forward, and while Madrimov, he may come forward, but he does it in a very unorthodox way, and I don't think it will be easy for Crawford to slip his punches, and avoid them. And Yeah, I see a very tough, even fight there. And yeah, however, of course, if it goes the distance, which it probably will, then of course Crawford is the favorite to get a decision once again, like with Anderson. I mean, even though Madrimov may win more rounds, it's still how it is now with the judging so corrupt. So yeah, I'm afraid that may happen, but I'm not sure really. So the safest bet would be to pick Crawford. Yeah, definitely to win. But Madrimov can well make an upset. However, he will need to do a lot to get a victory. Either stop Crawford or score a knockdown or something, at least one or two. So yeah, that will be tough, of course, but not impossible. So I don't know really. This is a tough one really. I think this will be Crawford's toughest fight ever, and yeah, so he's barely had a tough fight, ever until now. So this will be it definitely, and then I don't really know, but probably Crawford will manage to win enough rounds anyway to get a decision. So that will probably happen, but of course it's hard to say. So anyway, I will finish with that. Now it's already 21 minutes, and anyway, yeah, those were my, let's say predictions or yeah, my views on these fights. Thank you for watching. Bye.